Good evening. It is Monday, August 26th at 10 after 6. I am Jeffrey Whitten. I am joined tonight by Mrs. Marshall. Our chairman, Mrs. Westfall, could not be here tonight. We are the Regulations and Park Committee. Tonight we're here to look at a recommendation from the Board of Park Commissioners on the sale of Bruckner Park, located at or near Troy, Miami County Public Library. Mr. Titterington, will you be giving us an update?
Sure. So per the report, back in August, the Board of Park Commissioners unanimously recommended the sale of Bruckner Park to the library. The library had approached us. Actually, this is the second time we've had a conversation with them about Bruckner Park, just looking at their future vision. Nothing concrete, nothing set, no plans or designs, but they are still interested in Bruckner Park as part of their overall any modifications, any expansion, anything that they want to do on that site. And so we went out and paid for an appraiser to give us an appraisal of that property. The appraiser indicated a value of $140,000. When we reviewed the potential uses and where that park is located along Water Street with the gazebo, and in discussions with the park board, we wanted to make sure that there were some covenants and restrictions on that property, namely that, we would transfer it to the library with the intention that the library would use it for like and similar uses that a library would want to use that property for, and so in recognition of those covenants and restrictions, knowing that by its very name restricts the use of the property, we agreed to discount the value and the sale price of the property to $100,000 even. The park board concurred with that, made that recommendation. Per Mr. Kerber, the law director, the Ohio Revised Code does allow for transfer and the sale, a direct sale of property between the library and the city. Whereas any other surplus property, park property, has to go through the formal bidding process. So that gives us some flexibility and some leeway here. And so we are recommending, following the park board's recommendation and asking council to authorize that sale. I will say that the park or the library has asked for some flexibility to do some more grant and fundraising, and so the authorization to sell, to transfer, would be no later than December of 2025. But this gives them the certainty that the property is theirs if they raise the funds, and gives them some time to go out and do that.
If they're unable to raise the funds or not do something with that building, do we have it in our clause where we can buy that property back from them or get that back from them if they decide not to do anything with it?
Well, if they don't raise the funds, they don't buy the property. If they don't buy the property, then we will continue to own it.
Okay.
And then this would not be executed.
So the park itself now consists mainly of a green space, but some of the physical aspects on the property are the gazebo and there's a fence there. Mm-hmm. And I think I saw from the park board meeting there was a plaque there to Mr. Bruckner, who had donated that land. Mm-hmm. From my understanding, it's just going to be the plaque, and is it the fence we're also going to be trying to remove from the property?
The gazebo eventually would go away. That is a brick gazebo, so it can't be picked up and transferred. We looked at that a couple of years ago when we were looking at improvements to Treasure Island and the monarch butterfly habitat behind or north of the Boathouse restaurant. There is a medallion, a rotary medallion in the middle of the concrete of the gazebo. That would be kept. That would be given to the Rotary Club. The fencing, the library was concerned that it not be scrapped because it is old fencing. We don't have any use for it. It would be difficult for us to try to reuse that. We have asked, though, to keep a section or two of that, similar to what we did with the Adams Street Bridge with the street lights on the old bridge, street poles. We kept a couple of those, and so we would do the same there. Haven't really discussed in detail the Bruckner plaque, whether that would stay there or be preserved in some way. But you know, the library doesn't have any immediate plans to do something, so there's time to work that, you know, those details out.
Okay. Thank you. Mrs. Marshall?
So, there's a chance that it wouldn't stay a green space?
Well, it depends on, yes, that's true. However, you know, we do have setback requirements, we do have zoning that, so any final
Right.
plan that the library might draw up would have to take all that into account. So some of it could remain green space. It is along the road. I do know that in the design 2-3 years ago, when they were looking at perhaps doing a levee to demolish and then rebuild a brand new library, that the structure, if I remember correctly, was going to go towards Bruckner and satisfy some of the zoning requirements, and then I believe there was some of the parking was up front, or most of it, if not all of it, was up front. So it kind of shifted the location of the parking lot versus the building. But again, it's too early to know exactly what they want to do, and I'm not sure that they know yet exactly what it's going to look like. But in the meantime, their intent is not, you know, if they raise the funds and we transfer it and sell it to them by the end of this year, there are no immediate plans for the library to do anything with that park immediately.
Good. Any other council members have any questions?
No, you just answered my question.
Any other members of the audience have any questions? Do you have a recommendation?
Sure. Move forward, I guess, yeah, move forward.
It is unanimous to move forward. Are there any other topics or issues to come before the committee?
No, sir.
We are adjourned.